Hi everyone, welcome again. This is Dami from Mixing Like a Pro. Today I want to do a video and show you how you can add effects to your guitars. Effects that sit well in the mix to help your guitars shine and assume their rightful place within a song. So join me in Pro Tools and let's do a deep dive quickly. So here we are in Pro Tools. I'm going to basically play the song. There's something I want to show here, especially at the intro, on how, just to give an idea too, on how to approach a song. The effect on guitars mostly should be based on the feel, what you want the guitar to do. Because, and I know when I talk about the effect, the first thing that comes to mind is reverb. Yes, and truly, reverb is what we're going to use here and other things as well. Because we can add space, we can add depth, thickness, and a lot of things to your guitar track. So let me play the song here, and I wanted to play this intro so you guys can hear that first. Are you ready? Okay, so that sounds good. So here is this, the beginning of the song wanted to be really soft and carry that emotion. If I bypass some of the effects that I use on here, here's what we're gonna hear. Sounds dry. So dry sounds fine by itself. Those guitars are, of course, they're mixed and but they sound good, but it doesn't fit the emotion and what I'm trying to go achieve right for the songs, which is why. So let me play this one and let's go through quickly some of the effects I'm using on here. First one is I'm using a verb, and this is going to the super plate with around 3 super plate by Sound Toys with around 3 decay 3 seconds decay time in here. And let's hear the. Gonna push it up a little bit. Yeah, so that is my favorite reverb plugin at the moment. And then next in our chain is basically a music parallel, because I usually will send some of my musical instrument into a parallel bus. To the reason for that is it helps it. Parallel compression is just something that works great. Things to poke out where added weight, and then rather than just using the compressor on the channel too, I like to send groups of instruments into like a parallel chain. So let's hear what that is doing here. So let me go here and then just watch the mute button right here. Okay, so what bus is that going to? So that is basically, it's going to the Fairchild by T-Rex, IK Multimedia. So it's barely compressing anything. It's set to link and set to the fastest. I think that's the fastest one, the time constant there. They all have different feel, but I chose one for the. Of course, it's only compressing one. That's because sometimes there are other instruments going in there, and the more instrument I send in there, the more it's going to compress. So that's the second thing on there. And then I have the H3000. I call it H3000, but this is going to the Micro Shift by Sound Toys again. Sound Toys. Let me put that in and out so you can hear what it's doing. I'm going to exaggerate it so you can hear. Exactly. So, like, the pitch shift stuff going, thickness and width as well. That's why I really love that plugin and width. Um, so even here, let's do a quick one here. Dry. This is going to the parallel bus, and then I'm also sending it. So if you look at here, I mean, I could basically click on follow main fader, but I didn't. And I'll show you why. Because this is a mono signal, so it's basically panned 43%. So I'm hearing it like right here. But then for the compressed sound, the parallel sound, I'm pushing it farther to the left. So instead of just filling this space, it's filling this entire space right here. So let's hear that. Let me bypass it. Bring it in. So let me play it again, and I'm not gonna see anything, so you can just listen. Just also just listen and then watch when I unmute this. So you see the shift right in panning. So right there, I'm getting so much space in the song and fullness width as well. Now again, I didn't stop there. I have the template dimension D. This I've created a long time ago, and I think this was from I got this from I can't remember his name. David Glenn. He's one of my mentor. When I started mixing, I watched a lot of his videos. I learned so much from him. So giving him his credit. So I think this was from his templates too, and I've kept it for years. Let's hear what it's doing. Dimension D adds thickness and weight to stuff. You can hear. Let me push it up. So just right there. This is left at 0, and I think with this I can do that because we are really at the beginning of the song. If I was in the other part of the song where things are heavy, I would maybe use the follow main fader, and that would have worked too. And follow main fader will make sure that I'm panning to 43%, so it's going to basically only send it to 43%. So let's turn it off. Okay, next in the chain is the reverb. Now, it's important to note I'm panning my reverb to the right, 43% to the right. So now I have the main audio sound here to my left here, and then to my right. Now I'm sending, and I learned this trick again, because everything we learn. This is from really Warren Hughes. I learned it from putting the guitar here and panning your reverb to the left. Why? Get width, make it spacious. But you have to know when to do that too. I wouldn't advise doing that all the time, especially if you have so much instrument, maybe so much guitars already. You might not need to hear the guitar on this left here, because you have another guitar on there. But you can do it. I'm not saying you can't do it. I do that a lot too. But just want to be mindful. So let's hear what this is doing. So all of a sudden we have this mono signal now that is really wide, and so sometimes you hear it in songs, especially with Christian, contemporary, and gospel song. I mean, it's one guitar is playing, but then you can hear why am I getting so much width? It's no one mono signal, but it's everywhere. Of course, the reverb is stereo, but tricks like this, just like I'm duplicating the track basically by using the send. And then, of course, I love the H3000. And I think, who did I learn this from? I learned from Chris Lodalgi as well, watching some of the tutorials. I remember watching one, and then it turned the H original unit. I'm like, oh my God, that sounds good. Old school, good. so that helped me to use it more on guitars, because I used to just use mostly on vocals and pianos. I'm gonna push it so you can hear. Sounds good. You know, you're always tempted to just turn that stuff up, but so now let me bypass it and play it. Again. Okay, so this is part one of this video right here, and let me see. Okay, I think I can cover the other do the rest here, because the effects are very similar. So all right, let's leave that on, and then let's move on to some of the other guitars here. The main guitars in the song. I can come right here. For this one, so with this, the guitar is panned to the right. My reverb is basically centered, right? It's not follow main pan, and I'm only using the same music verb that I said. Oh, did I actually show that? Yeah, the music verb is the sound toys, right? See, if I use follow main fader, right? Follow main pan, sorry. It's follow main pan, not fader. Follow main pan. If I use that, right, both the guitar and the track itself is basically masking the guitar track. It's almost like, why do I even need the reverb, right? But let's hear it. I'm gonna remove it. I think you need to stop to remove it. Oops. So it must have messed me up here because I used that. Okay, that's fine. All right, so that's done. That's all I'm using on this guitar track right here, just with, I wasn't using the H3000 for that particular section in the song, because I don't think it worked well. Now, this is the same guitar, basically. When the player played it, all of this was in one track. So I duplicated it. Reason in my previous video why I mentioned, because we're moving from the chorus to the verse. Yeah. And I do that because I want to do some things either with panning most times, and then I want to treat them separately, especially if they're playing different stuff. So as you can see here on this one here, my effect, this is before, after. So a few things going on. I'm panned to about 62 on here. My reverb is going to the left. Let me bypass and play. Sorry, this is parallel compression I'm doing here, and that is going to this guy here, the red from Steven Slate. I have another parallel going, that's double parallel going right to this guy. So bypass both of them. Like I said, parallel just makes things really cut through the mix well. My setting on here, let me see, I'm using the auto release on this one, and I'm using like a fast attack, not super slow attack to where too much transient, because I kind of don't want, I want to control the transient of all of the instruments. So imagine if all the instruments have fast release and maybe slow, slow attack like we normally do, right? Everything's just poking out. So using a medium to fast attack there. Next is the dimension D as well. panned kind of to the left here on the send. I mean, I could leave this to the, mono too, that'll be fine, right? It'll be fine, absolutely. Let me push this so you can hear what it's doing. Yeah, that's amazing. Dimension D is amazing. Just chorus is that it's a chorus effect, That's why I see it, just wait. And then H3000 again, slightly using it here, push it up. You see why you need that stuff, right? And now we have the reverb. Okay. And then so the kind of the same effect here going on too. So what we're doing is I'm using the parallel compression as it, on my send reverb. And I think I must have tried the delay here too. Sometimes I use a delay if it works. In this case, I actually thought I was using it, but nothing was going in anything. So let me play the guitars and let's hear basically what the effect is doing in all the different sections here. Okay, we have these 3 guitar track going on here. Okay, before I do that, right, there's this power guitar here, which of course the sound is different. Let me bypass the effect on there. All the way pan there. I can hear some here. I can hear some to the right as well, because we only have one. So the parallel processing is basically to the left. The H3000 I'm sending to the right. And then my reverb is going to pan left as well. So the double you're kind of hearing is coming from the H3000. So just being, playing with, because you have limited tracks, it's not a lot of guitar tracks, but they work well in the song. So playing with your effect and try to be creative with it. So let's bypass, not plugins, but we're technically plugins on the send. This is using send. We have that slight volume boost, gain weight, gain excitement, right, on the guitars, not dull, and they are placed in those, the space that they need. The reverb is doing a lot of very good work. Not too much reverb in there at all, but really putting all of these things in the space. So I hope this was helpful. But last but not the least, the acoustic guitar right here. Okay, so I have a reverb going there too. Pan to the left. The reverb is set to like 25%. Dry. Now wet. Also parallel processing. Let me bypass it. The Sound Toys plate, man. The super plate, I think they took it to the next level. And that's going to the reverb. Let me play so you guys can just enjoy a little bit. So I hope this was helpful on how to basically use effects on your guitar track, how to make them wide, how to make it sound weightier, and how to put them in their respective spaces to where they're not clashing with one another. I'm gonna see you guys on the next video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, as I keep making good content to share my knowledge over the years and also learn from you as well. Let me know what you're doing that I need to try. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.